Ah, my stomach is full. That's good. That's good. Alright. How do I start this? I guess I just have to continue with Ace Attorney as it is. I think we're stuck in what chapter? Oh god, I forgot even that. I think it was chapter 4. Is it chapter 4? Or no, case 4. Ah, alright. Lex, that neck. Calm down. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Stingy.
How you doing? I was waiting for someone here. How are you doing? Did you sleep well? Also, please ignore Kaiba over there. He's just being Kaiba. He's just growling or stuff.
Hehehe.
Alright. Where was I? Actually, how was your day? Tell me all about it. Me? I have just recently finished my food, so I feel with lots and lots of good energy. You know, usual stuff. Alright. Now, Winter of Clouded Kokoro. The Clouded Heart? Is that the right one? Alright. Oh. Okay.
時折僕は思うのだよ、ワトソン。ホームズは物憂げに首を振り言った。我々が目にする事件は本当にそれが全てなのだろうか。その裏側に誰も知るもののない物語が隠れているかもしれない。ハーブティーから立ち上る湯気を追うその夢見るような眼差しの先には、
目が覚めたばかり。私は朝食を食べました。
雪の日の夕刻の情景が浮かんでいたのだと。
So, yes, you're just enjoying your
ブライア
party.
ロードの歩道に倒れ伏した若い
裁判
女性と
所ハンタの準備ができています。
その背に刺さった狂人。
You're ready for court. Alright.
ガスト
Oh
ンは
my.
柔らかく切り取った奇怪な事件現場の情景。不可解な姿なき犯人の事件は薄い霧の中静かに幕を開けたのだった。
Why do I get Jack the Ripper's vibes from this? I get Jack the Ripper vibes from this. Alright. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. This is no office, this is more like a library. I mean, look at that. There's like shelves and clocks and everything and armors and... Man, that's a pin-pop office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruto? No, not at all. It was a Norm's hotel, wasn't it? Wait, we stayed in a hotel? When did that happen? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day even in the middle of the night. That's technology. For you, I think? What about the Normal's beds? After my time in the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent an entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. No, that sounds
Stingy.
like bad habits of sleeping. What's up? What's wrong, Mew? Something happened?
18から19世紀後半を覚えておいてください。
Not with that attitude. Remember, this is the Ace Attorney universe where anachronisms occur, you know. Sure. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can dream on normally. Except when I learned that we were all
ロンドンの頂
3,000
点。
that dream quickly turned to a nightmare. Oh my god, how much is 3 pounds? Oops, sorry about that. The big pinnacle of London. Well, yeah, I actually dig this style of London. Victorian London has, like, for me, impeccable culture. Like, sure, there is some crap every now and then, but you know, I kind of dig it. The building was so impressive and it just so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head the whole year. Ooh. Ouch.
それでも歴史に正確に。
Yet accurate to history. Yeah, I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when you presented with a bill. Ooh. Reality. Really, I'm sorry. Minosuke, this is why you don't enter to fancy hotels. They're gonna rip you off. Well, never mind. Let's find some more affordable lodges straight away, bro. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up to 10 days or less. Jeez. Ugh, London's a scary place. Ah, good morning to you on this early hour. Oh, dear God, it's you. Oh, yes, we're, well. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. You have to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. She dismissed Macy. She was about an idly, even the presence of imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into the British courtroom practices. Yeah, that was more like a madhouse than anything, man. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you. No, eye-opening. No, it's not. It was not eye-opening. It was a madhouse, but a fun madhouse actually. And in accordance to your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Nakano performed his duty to the end. Yes, I'm afraid the praise of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't feel that comfortable with that passing, you know?
声に役立つように VC に参加してほしいのですか？
You know what? That would be fun. That would be fun. Get in here. Alright, Mew. Yes, you can come in. Man, this reminds me of the time that Telly was here. No longer are you a student of the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a full-fledged lawyer. Oh, I guess I was ranked up properly. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such remote Easterland. Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now. Now, to view your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. Wait, now? As in, right now? I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. Yeah, it works for everything. Yeah, practical experience is the toast of life. You cannot live without experience.
あなたはあなたのスクリーンを共有する必要があるので私は時間通りに私が思う。
Oh, give me a second. How do I do that? Oh, alright, I can do that. Alright, Mew. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell are you? Bum, 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 bum.
Hi.
Wow! Oh my god, that was loud! How you doing, Mew?
I'm good. Do you want me to change it? Because I'm guessing it's still in a, like, I'm hugging a pillow, I'm guessing on your end.
Wait, you're actually hugging a pillow?
Yes, I drew that. Thank you very much.
Oh. Okay. Alright, alright. Give me a second. Give me a second. I don't know why your reacting PNG is not working. Just had to set it up again.
Okay. Let me just change it then, to change it from something comfy to maybe something I would use if I was actually in this universe. Maybe. I
When
said
did-
maybe. I don't know if I have
when-
it. But...
When do you have a tail? Did I miss something important? Did I just get transported into the future or something?
No, I've always had a tail. I just don't show it in the other PNG. I'm always facing forward, but I've always had a tail. It's just very small. This is why the hugging one has the tail. It shows because I'm showing sideways, not face forward.
I see. I was actually kind of confused. Alright, it's fine. I think we can just continue now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I have quite come to terms with it. Yeah, no kidding, man. That was not a fun trial for you, man. What's to come to terms with? The
Oh,
map was
goodness.
clear. What more were you hoping for? Like actual happy moment confetti time? I don't know, man. You don't know me.
Honda, may I remind you? You did kinda go against the person.
Yeah. Your capability to defend is not
You
a
can't-
present time established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to for judgment. Well, Dolman 6, it's been a pleasure, so it has. I hate this guy. Can you notice my ass in my stupid top hat? As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Get the hell out of here from my side. Yeah. Is this guy Jack Ripper?
Actually, no, he's just a loan shark, and yes, this is how they actually act back in the days. I looked it up like a few weeks ago.
I just can't help wondering. If Mr. McGilden really was innocent. What the hell do you think, man? Mew. Earth to Mew.
Sorry, my mic broke. Hold up. Mr. Naruhodo.
It's just that
Yeah.
I never managed to accept the
It's-
truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you needed a trial for you and for a second longer. Sorry.
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Back to my guilty pass away. What the fuck? Excuse me?
Wow, you broke character really quickly.
Magnus McGinton passed away. Immediately from this trial. Also, do not look at my buttocks. I just opened because of this spinning situation. Like, what the fuck?
No.
What? Mr. McGinton is dead? Ooh, look at the pretty birds. I mean, dead? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds to my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Oh, wait, you want me to ask you the situation? Okay.
You have 19 minutes to ask all this, and he's counting, so you make it count.
I don't understand what happened. How can he be dead? After a trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Oh, yeah, that stupid thing. Yes, of course, that was a
The-
crime which Mr. McGilden had been accused of. Yes, Mew?
Is no one gonna question how they have like still like a luggage piece like in the last case? They still had the luggage on it.
Yeah,
the roof.
I mean,
And
I would say that's
never-
for preserving the scene of crime as much as possible, but I mean,
And yet you could find evidence in there, and nobody looked at it. I'm just saying that's the only flaw in that last case.
I mean, Van Sticks might know. I mean, it's not that it was not public knowledge.
That's true.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. Oh yeah, you actually went in flames like quite spectacularly. No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already... The police identified a corpse from inside Chara's shell of a carriage as that of McGilden. Also, it smelled really toasty in there. I don't know why. That's awful! The man must have been asleep inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And it needs to be like his paycheck cut. Like, what the hell?
And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak. And frankly, I don't give a fuck.
Thinking back now. Immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilden did mention going back to the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
Well, it's me making tracks now. Thanks for the inflection. Also, I need to be evil somewhere else. So sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus event, so I'm told. I asked you to be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus. That is pretty sus, don't you think? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGilden talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making full investigation. Also, you're running out of time, and I need to catch up in Kamen Rider season right now. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. You?
Poor Mr. McGilden. Sorry, I didn't know how to say that properly. I had to like a tone right.
It's okay. Alright, British court. So, how do you want me to spank you? I mean, how do you find the first stage of the country Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I was... Wow! Are you still...
Mr. Naruhodo means the whole experience was steeped into I don't know how to say that word. Is it solemnity? Yeah, I think. Solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Wow, this does sound such a weight with words.
And you seem to have a way of falling to the right once.
Yeah. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. Also, I'm about birds.
Hanta!
The most
Why?
advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, It was a trial you couldn't lose. Also, I bet a lot of money on you, so you better have won, you know?
Hanta, I don't mean to be contraire, but Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
Nonsense! Even a kid would actually solve that. And he plays Among Us.
Hanta,
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Oh, I'm sorry. I just remember a funny joke. It's not that I'm actually belittling your inconvenient intelligence. Is something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve, and that counts as a victory for me. Also, I won more money than I thought that bet, so kudos to you, man. And that could be attributed to exceptional talent. Would you agree? Well, I don't know about that. I also kinda repeated my sale file, so... Well, never mind. Even kids back then used Game Shark. You exceeded my expectations, I fully admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. Also, I need to go to the bathroom soon, so forgive me, my buttocks are actually sounding way too harsh right now. What's going on?
Hanta.
What was he doing say before? I mean, the guy looks old.
Yeah, but did you have to include the buttocks? Could you perhaps give us more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me it's a murder and a trial starts in 10 minutes. And consider that our track record, and this being an Ace Attorney series game, I guess I'm fucked. Don't worry, it's not as so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Or did he just read the script? Wait, I have the script in my hand. Oh, wait, he was reading my script. Never mind. That is to say, no one has died as yet. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what about the body that Mr. McGillis was burned alive? I mean, that's a dead body, right? And trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research a case thoroughly. Oh, well, okay, that is a breath of fresh air. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. Also, you are actually talking about European time. I guess that happens like right now, but I'm not a heartless person. Ha. So the trial starts tomorrow then. Wait.
Is everything alright?
Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was a madhouse. Well, it left me wondering if I really got out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I have a good face standing in that corner again after Miss McGilda's trial. I mean, the guy was a lunatic.
The guy was crazy.
Oh yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there's really no one to advocate for the defense. So yeah, you're actually kinda without support here. Oh, if the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not to remind you of the inevitable outcome. Basically, what happens to Among Us to the poor saps that get killed. Oh wait, that's right, they get killed, but that's besides the point.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
That's right, being sus. Yes, that's right.
Really? Really, Hanta?
I don't know. Here we go again. Oh, well, look at the time. Your time's up. You have to excuse me. I need to catch a Kamen Rider show right about now. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock's ever ticking. Unless you receive a digital watch, but that's besides the point. There is now by 23 hours, 36 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Miss Nakodo. There's something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked about something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. Also, I want to ask you, my hair is spiking off. I need to be presentable, you know?
What the?
I'm interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, well, Kasama always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I like to think more towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh,
Another thing? Continue. Also, yeah. Oh, on the way here, the Steve Chief, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? Don't tell me to get a new copy of Monster Hunter Sunbreak, because I want that shit. He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever made it to Great Eastern. You're out of time. Time's up. Bye-bye. Well, thanks for every nice discussion. Now I have to catch my commemoration.
Mr. Naruhodo, what is this all about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
Bro code! I urge you to both focus your attention to the matter at hand. Who the hell was that? How did you get here?
Okay. Hanta? Okay, Hanta?
Yeah?
I will give you one note. This is not a spoiler, but I will give you one note. If you know detective book series, let's just say it's referenced in this game.
Is that Inspector Javert?
You'll see. Just continue.
I'm taking the liberty of summoning the police inspector and character his chase. Wait, don't tell me. It's Inspector Senigata from Lupin the Third.
No.
He'll be able to praise the details. Look's even there. Is he like a fucking ninja? So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. Mayor Domo, fetch me my horse. I need to expect that horse to go fast.
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. He never actually gave me the code for Monster Hunter Rise from Steam, so I don't trust that bit.
This is not Monster Hunter!
Anyway, we have better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes,
You're right. Ha! You took my name.
I hope I just imagine it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Also, look at that mustache. I suspect that mustache.
Oh, Hanta, you're gonna love it when you talk to him, though.
Okay.
Just trust me. Just look at his talking animation. That's all I'll tell you.
Just look at the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They come floor to ceiling.
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yes, a very bad dream.
They're not all about British law either. There are books about judicial systems from other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland?
Wait, they have something about Tom
Say
Holland
that?
here? No, wait, no, that's a Spider.
No, not Tom Holland.
What about Russia?
The country. Why do you ask?
I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how to say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? Oh, you. Oh, callback.
I think perhaps it's best abandoned.
Right. Hello, strange, funny top hat person. What the fuck are you doing?
That's why. That's why. That's why.
Don't you have a
You
lot
want
of
me to explain what?
don't you have a lot of
You wanna
calories in
explain-
that one? Also, is that thing reloaded itself? What the hell? Can I have one of those? That could solve more hunger. What is wrong with you?
I told you would love it. I told you.
Jesus Christ, it keeps going. Look at him go. Look at him
Wait
go.
till he talks. Wait till he talks. That's the best part. This is not even the best part yet.
Oh my god, how big your stomach is? Like, you're not stopping, man. You just keep munching that shit. What is wrong with you?
How about we continue the story to see the rest of the animation, Hanta,
can we
before you get
trouble
immersed
you?
by all that.
What is it? Lovely water, isn't it? Also, can I have a piece of that? Come on, man! Give me some start. I want pictures! Pictures of Spider-Man! I mean, no, wait, that's wrong series. Anyway,
Dude!
some free of weather doesn't get the average English jet in a can, no? But Sato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. So tasty. There's a great scene investigating, but I'm here. I'm like you talking to. Oh shit, this is so delicious. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can't you imagine what the other officers would ever be saying? I've seen Grayson everywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the big wigs these days. Yeah, he still have that magical feeling again that never ends. What kind of sorcery is that? I know because of some bumpkin who hears John Franconi I never even heard of. Also, look at what you did. You made me crush my infinite spawning fruit and food generator. You were evil, man. No. Every time sound, never this on their yard go to terrace. No. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? There's a degree plus a star as well.
Okay, gonna tell you. I do not believe we have been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. So, it's a lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
It's seasonally fine, aren't you? On the winters will see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How does he pull that off? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? So, Lord Strongheart asked me to fill you in on the case. The name is Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you, not Grayson. I will punch the balls if you say me. Call me like that. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson? Okay, come on.
What's the matter with Sato-san? Does it that his name means something to her? Alright, Inspector Gregson. I have never actually... Yeah, continue.
Before we continue, what do you think he's eating? I'm gonna tell you now because this is not related to the story whatsoever, but if you're curious to what it is, I can tell you. What do you think he's eating?
Is that bread?
Nope. I'll give you a hint. The thing surrounding the ever-regenerating thing is chips, or French fries in this case. So what is a very British dish that uses chips, which is fries, around it? I'll give you a hint. It's not beef or pork.
Captain Crunch cereal?
No. Do you want me to just tell you?
Churros?
That's just fish. That's fish and chips, hand eaten in a newspaper, like they usually do, on the go.
So you're telling me there's a regenerating fish? How that zombified in that little cup of food? Oh my god, that's torture. Where did he find
May I
that?
remind you, he squeezed the bag and he didn't ruin the chips at all, and they're still not eaten.
So let me get
This
this
is the
straight.
Ace Attorney universe.
He just bites that thing, and it never ends. And it's not eating it; it's just munching it and regurgitating back in the. Oh god, that's disgusting. Never mind.
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? Thank you.
You're acting like you know this man, Misusato, but he's a London detective. Also, I think he's gonna die of diabetes very soon.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well?
Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
For the record, just call him Sherlock Holmes. I don't give a crap.
Wait. Since we're already here, what is the name of the detective that's always tailing Sherlock? What's the name?
Mr. Senigara? No, that's Lupin the Third.
No,
Uh,
it's Inspector.
Javert?
No, his
Inspector-
name is
Inspector Gadget.
No, it's Inspector Jonathan, and basically Gregson represents Mr. Scotland Yard chasing Mr. Sherlock.
Oh.
That's basically who he is. And guess what? His favorite food is fish and chips. Hence why they're ever regenerating.
Huh, I guess they got something right after all. Oh.
I mean, they got his food right.
Oh, is that in that publication? What's it called again? Rand's Magazine?
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Sherlock Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful, friendly rivalry.
Look, just call him Mr. Holmes. Even I just got tired of calling him. You know what I mean.
It's license purposes. Hanta, that's why they changed it. They literally just switched the letters around. That's all they did.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Holmes? That's incredible.
See? You
Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Holmes is a professional like myself, of course. But he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You earned the highest praise. You earned his highest praise, sorry. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all Scotland Yarders. Those were his words. Those were his words.
That is his highest praise? That seems like a high-low insult inside that, but I wouldn't put that past Holmes.
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
Well, on that, I agree completely. That is not. That's not magazine. My name is not all over the town now. That's great, isn't it? Are you kidding, man? No one likes bad publicity.
You might want to continue to read.
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, fluttered by all the tension. Everyone wanted to shake my hand. My reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. God! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors of me under their breath, I'm sure. Also, they think I have the copy of Monster Hunter Subject from Star, but I don't have that. Worse?
And look at his fish and chips. Are you quite sure?
Start appearing those good stories. The face going to be sad. Stuff like that.
gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Susato, you have never used Twitter, have you? Like I said, they whisper, so get got yourself in what they're saying, but I know what the false are like. I sure what you're saying. As sure as X is X, and omelets are omelets, and wabernecks and wabernecks. Also, you play Monster Hunter. I get the feeling that it could be very hard work.
Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise of fame does change people.
You have no idea. Alright, what about the case, Mr. Fish and Chips? So, about the case the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing at all, really. As far as we're concerned, the yard, it couldn't be simple.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned, as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you were right. The young woman was walking around the pavement with a brain roared, jaywalking all of that, when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she still ended up in the hospital unconscious. I don't know how the hell she didn't die by that, but I guess she had some bottles of steel, I don't know.
That's despicable. What sort of a coward would attack a poor woman from behind?
The spy from Team Fortress 2? I suppose you wouldn't have finished whoever was up with Sato takedown, wouldn't you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Raise yourself, you're having a hurt now. Anyway, as a subject of work investigation, the Calder was arrested. He better have time to cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. Oh no. So, there must be something left the scene that led you directly to the corporate?
Or perhaps a relatable witness who'd recognize the person in question?
That's on your other. You're wasting your time with this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. He didn't have even Monster Hunter in his history of games. Like, what the hell is he wrong with him? Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor has been assigned to the trial tomorrow. It's Lord Baron 6. Oh, you mean Kaiba? No! Sorry, have heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks.
You mean Kaiba, right?
No, he's not Kaiba! Shit! Believed to be Harbinger of Death itself?
The Reaper of the Valley. Also the Master of Blue
Bailey,
Eyes.
actually. It's actually called Bailey.
Bailey. Reaper of
Yeah,
the Bailey.
Bailey.
Lord Baron 6. We faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before trial, didn't he?
I think that's your lines, right?
I guess. When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
Is Reaper the Bailey nickname? I suppose he heard that because everything he advocated against is found guilty. Is that right? Also, I do not want to duel him. I have a feeling he's gonna summon a blue-eyed white dragon out of his hands or something. Well, if that's the case.
Well,
Oh,
if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
and what of it?
Oh, Well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save a defendant.
No, you really don't have to, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke at the end, yeah? He's dead. Ah. Maximum guilty came from a cropper of that omnibus and he went down in flames. So you can write and say you saved the defendant, can you? No, that double logic is kind of bullshit. You think about it. What are you saying? Look, if a 6 couldn't get a third to 6 anyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. But he doesn't use a dark magician, so I don't know what the hell's going on with this world. I have a good long think about that if I were you. Are you supposed to believe that? No. Right, well, I really was requested. And I'm very near out of chips. Like, I cannot believe that I could run out of chips.
I told you it was. I told you it was fish and chips. I told you it was.
No, what baffles me that he's actually not infinite. So I'm heading back to crime scene now. We're still carrying the flipping station there. Also, I need to refill my chips.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, man. I'd heard over the whole thing so you can meet my criminal himself. You brand him a criminal already? He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. I give it a chuckle if nothing else. He's M953. Speak to Jen and show me the way. Also, please ignore any duel disc you see around, because I don't want to see another duel in the courtroom. Inmate 53. Thank you. And he's off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Well, I mean, you can summon a blue-eyed white dragon against him, I don't know.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell you the truth, when I recalled the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think too much for you, there's no shame in turning a case down. That takes courage too.
No, I call bullcrap to that. But the man they arrested is innocent. You could have well imagine who's shaking a like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't be the first side. I, for one, wouldn't find the side of that funny.
So,
If I'm honest, I'm still really from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I mean, what the fuck was that? And I'm really not sure I'll be able to help this man, wherever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm gonna make some inquiries. Will you help?
did you really think you had to ask?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Alright, just ignore there's any duelist running around because I don't want to duel that guy. Alright.
Before we start reading the story, can I look at chat for a second in case you missed anything?
I mean, the chat is dead, actually, which is normal.
Okay, just checking.
Alright.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, let's check the prison first.
Oh wait, I remember this. Oh no. So there's an Easter egg. I remember this case has an Easter egg. Um, and we're
So,
about to see it.
these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. I. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, I have experienced it in Japan myself. I can assure you that the wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
I mean, look at this. They didn't have even the decor right. You can even put a carpet here. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark in the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Like, is he a hunter? Ooh, maybe I can share my guild card with him. Hey, my friend 3, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop in and back to your cell so you face at once. Am I? Am I a cat? I share with. Oh no. Wait. Don't tell me. Is this a guy, an opera guy? Am I a cicada? She has no name.
No.
Calling me by a
No.
number. It's
No.
utterly unbelievably, unjustly unbelievably. I refuse to answer.
Okay, yeah, that's an actual quote from a book. I will explain why later, but Mr. Naruhodo, what?
Yeah, no kidding. I think he's high as fuck.
What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But it wasn't just hearing things, was I? That trying to complain was in Japanese. Wait, what the fuck? Dude, we're reading English. How the hell am I supposed to know that?
It's the accent he means. The accent is Japanese.
Who the hell are you?
Okay, you see.
What's wrong with your eyes?
You're going to have to voice him.
Just quiet. Can you smell that? It's the smell of monsters. Oh yes.
He's not.
Yes.
Hata, he's not high. He's not high. That's just his personality.
I know they are. Quick, fetch me the flash bombs and also the traps. I need to capture that monster. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. I can sense it. Witch, fetch me my mega demon rocks. I need to actually be prepared to actually fetch me that monster with that great sword.
Can we?
Right, so. Right, you come to curse me, how are you? Don't try to hide. You're a ghost. Yes, a ghost. So, this is a ghost. What? No, what the hell are you talking about? A ghost?
We mean you no harm, prisoner San, are you? Japanese by any chance?
What the fuck is happening here? His eyes! Hello?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
This is beyond my wildest dreams. I could cry and Shyamalan. Forgive me for that Arbus before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. Like, what the fuck? We were just a little surprised, that's all. Like, what the fuck? It's been 12 long months and I left my hometown. And here I am, homeless, moneyless, and if Ryder fixes a foreign line, I'm no monster hunter. What is wrong with you people? So here in the sweet, sentimental tones of the comparator voice here, this damn dark hellhole was, most monumentally moving moment. Oh yes, look at me up there. Yeah, baby. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Who could have guessed this new client, Lord Stronghead Sinus, was a fucking lunatic? Who turned out to be a fellow Japanese. Forgive my mustache, touching like that. Oh yes, let me drink my water. My imaginary water is on my side. One confession, my fellow countrymen. So, Dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to fit a beer for a student. Wait, what? You're a student? Novel, Yotari, Daifeli, Nippon. Oh yes, look at flex. Baby.
Wait, it's not done.
A first-class lawyer? Are
That's
you
what they
sure you
expected
have the
him to
right
be.
guy? Oh dear, I think it was something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind to tell us what happened? Why you have been a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can. I will. Shut, say, solid, and silent. Oh yeah, baby, feel the burn on my back.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
I call insanity happiness. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Rinosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriety named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Please forgive my flexing. Oh, look at my
Okay.
business.
Okay, before we continue, sorry to cut in, but before we continue, can you search up this name really quick? This is the Easter egg I was talking about.
Okay, sure.
Trust me, you are gonna scream after this.
He's a novelist? Kokoro, Botchan, I Am a Cat, Lion in Darkness, scholar and British literature reader
Yes.
haiku. Wait,
And
he's a real guy?
look at this photo. Look at this photo.
Oh!
That makes it better. That makes it better.
Oh! I see.
That's
Holy
the
shit.
Easter egg. That's the Easter egg, my good sir.
Well, he does love to flex a lot. Alright, Mr. Funny Mustache Crazy Man. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, see. I write a haiku. It's something nom de plume. Like, what the fuck is that? Nom de plume? You mean as an alias?
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo-san. Sorry, I was putting Mr. again.
No. Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. Yes. And a
I think
haiku.
it's still.
That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say you were a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! They really have Monster Hunter here! The indignity! Suffer
What's
that
with you
misery.
in Monster Hunter?
I don't know, you know me too well by now. Suffer that misery.
I know, but you had to put it in this game?
Do you
Come on.
want to study here? No, I mean, I had an interest in grape trade for some years, of course. Oh. But! Just because the government tells me to do something doesn't mean you can't do it. No! What?
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have pursued. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. Yeah, oh god, I think I broke my back. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tended a blank piece of paper. Like, I didn't fall my bed. My apologies. Mice, words of whitewashing. I think it's nuts.
You must be a man of great standing.
and a propensity for doing JoJo poses. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Okay, what did I accuse you for?
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Sasaki-san?
I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! I mean, look at my mustache!
Murder?
Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was
Oh, they didn't tell
stabbed!
him.
With a knife! Right before my eyes! Also, she was not using dual blades! What the hell? Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. Wait, what the fuck? What? If I see the person who did it, do you think I'm in lockup in here? Oh, well, yes, you made a compelling argument there.
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be standing in front of me? Also, can someone tell the prisoner to make me go to the bathroom? I feel a little bit constipated here. It's the curse! The curse of London! It's incurably, excusable, irritantly inconvenient! Oh, my house is on fire! So Sasaki-san was there on the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital we find out more about the case.
Alright, about the case. It was an curious evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I went to the bookshop to buy some books, so I was way back to my cursed lodgings. Like, they don't even have Netflix there. Sure the books was that a curse too? Sure the bookshop wasn't a curse too? As I was walking along to the accused pavement, I couldn't make out so silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed under the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. Like, look at that! Look at that frame! What the hell?
How terrible!
I got to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like, ghostly, bring it.
You're monkey.
Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. Also, why the fuck you sound Rocket Jack? I mean, what the fuck you sound the monkey? I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as the legs would carry me in my back of accused lodgings. Also tried to ride in a dog, but I think that doesn't work in this universe. That's no good. I mean, Pina would have a field day with you. You don't ride dogs. They'll say I was a shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Sasaki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of this fair hair English? And a young woman at that. I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure, VTuber-like. I can talk to people. I see. A young woman who knows Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else do you see nearby? Did anyone pass you? Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great.
So the victim is unknown to you. There was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? Oh, great. What do you mean, Susab-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, what if Sasaki-san was just told us is true? There is something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim, and there's no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having seen.
I did! But if that's the case, surely this man had to be the culprit? Ah, you! You're using longsword, aren't you?
If you continue, it actually gets better.
Alright, I can smell that this is gonna get funny, so I'm gonna drink a sip of water.
Yeah. Take a sip of water really quick and continue. Because this is gonna be worth it.
What did it say? Nothing! I didn't say anything! Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually become to be arrested?
Hey, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense. Sorry.
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover he was there in the first place?
Black magic? Oh yes, she's right.
This is my favorite part.
It was him. That accused great detective. He led the police to me. Wait, what the fuck? Of all the bad luck! Accused great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as I leave. His hearty laugh with his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, red-headed, busybody, be gone, all my buttocks. Oh fuck, you know, this guy. Yup.
Read it.
May you be accursed in your days, Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock show.
I knew it.
Mr. Sholmes?
Okay, I need
You're gonna have to
hear
question
this.
this.
I have to hear this. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare unfolded the pavement for me. I was gnawing that silver-haired cheese when some men suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police! Put the weapon down! Put that cookie down! Yes, it was a thin silver, yes it was hard. But I was in the weapon! Disgusting, deterrent discrimination devils! Why did they hate cheese so much? You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of the policeman, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Sherlock Holmes! It's actually just... he's English, that man.
Yeah.
I since found out he's a famous native detective here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really well known.
Also kinda insane. And his already sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm the nine-wielding madman. Me? This week's stop kidding of a man! With a great mustache! Admire my mustache! I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be most unreasonable.
The thing is, I was sort of panic when they barged their way in. Like they say something like FBI open up. Like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was certified and friendly, and they kept throwing question after me in impossible English. English, Frank, Bill, Blackberry.
Why are you monkey again?
I don't know. Well, we're in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Also, can you stop sounding like a monkey? Good point, good point. But my mind was been blank. I knew how to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine, and yes, I use greatsword. The next thing I knew, I was in battles. And before I knew it, I was running here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. It's not fine now. Mr. Naruto Squire, what the fuck did you just call me? Oh, you can just call me Naruto. We are speaking English. The simple Mister is more than enough. Oh, yes. Alright. Yes, they really got me. This got this poison in my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them that what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, how do I burst this guy's bubble?
You're gonna do it anyway.
Why? Why is it hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a student tour, and I didn't bring my PC to play Monster Hunter
Son
with.
Han! Exclamation mark!
Hi,
Exclamation
Zero.
mark.
How you doing?
Hi, Zero. I'm voice acting right now.
A student? I had a that case in the Old
元気
Bailey.
です。
You're doing good, thank you. I had the case in the Old Bailey. Only the one though. But this moment in time, I really
いいね。
don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. Like, longsword or greatsword? The great dilemma. I'm confused about justice in this country even means.
XD。
Oh, Naruhodo-san.
I needed a foreign student who was supposed to be here. I am a certain
な
local
ぎなたまた
lawyer.
は素晴らしい刀。XD。
Yeah, I do have a lot of fun with this. I'm a sort of
He
local
does.
lawyer, I suppose. But that's the mark of the best lawyer from the Great Empire. It's a keepsake from a man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Keepsake? I know
Very good.
exactly what they're saying about me. Oh,
Oh, what do you mean?
the lawyers. Oh, the Prince of French lawyers. They will defend me. They think I sound like a monkey.
Goodness, what? Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself. And I ran away from the scene of crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks like I thought must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Suseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Somebody not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man will be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They just had the gall to say, this man uses longsword. The man doesn't even understand how it been said anyway. That's awful. They're wrong. I studied more English than half of the policemen out there in the streets. I traveled halfway around the world to render this people's country and its great history. Also to get myself hands on the great chocolate here, but that's besides the point. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I trust my faith to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue, and someone that uses greatsword. You could do it, couldn't you? Please tell me you do this longsword. I beg of you. When I look at your eyes, I can see it. I can see you being through. I can see you playing Monster Hunter on Switch. That's no good. Nah, I'm just joking. Saseki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please. Hmm? I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. Also, in the meantime, can you pass me some tea? I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. I'm waiting for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Welcome, student Mr. Nakano Esquire.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Alright, I guess we can move now. Alright,
Yes.
next is... think. I mean,
The crime scene. Yep.
how bad could it be?
It's winter.
Oh, I actually like winter. Oh my god, what happened to that bicycle?
That's not the worrying case right now.
So this really happened. Brian Road. Also, there's Frosty there. Frosty is trying to possess a man. That's cute.
Ah! Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. Oh no, I know where this is going. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
That is their job, you know.
But Mr. Naruhodo, to once see it with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamed I'd ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. That's
The hell's
literally
a-
what they're called. That's what they're called.
I call them ballpen hats, but that's besides the point. What? The helmet? I mean, what monster did they made that hat for? I don't know.
Of course. I have to try one day.
No, it won't fit. Well, I hope your happy dreams come true. Oh, you again. Oh god. What's the police regulation over here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This is not tourist trail. I'm pretty sure you were aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the Holders Dozen. More than a criminal. Well, he got sound like a monkey and...
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He is a suspect.
We'll see about that. The good Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Also, for some strange reason, he likes to sound like a monkey, so I don't trust him. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's for foregone conclusion. The Stone Cold Error rejection.
Take heart. London at the time of year is full of cold stone air.
That makes it worse somehow. Alright, you funny man. Why do you have to tell me?
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I have been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man.
Oh, And you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
Really? What's wrong with you? It does make them look the part, seeing a policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense duty of running the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Like I said, do you need help? Being a London body's hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rounds his older numbers at speed so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup. Wraps their windows with a long pole, did it myself by going back then. Also, they like using Instagram a lot. They're weirdos, man.
I had no idea.
Yep. The Bobby works for the people of the town. He's just another one of his duties. After that, his dad starts patrolling the streets all day long. Nom 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 nom. Nom nom. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. As I said, they're madmen. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance of Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's taking things a step too far. Like, what are they, Robocops? On one of the Starbucks, he does the important job of lighting multi-gas street lamps. Wait, what the fuck?
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all of these duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. Although we definitely didn't have some sort of super soldier program for this. Nope, not at all. They expect to handle those jobs as well. We do have man teaming up from time to time. Like, I've seen a fellow just vomiting his guts out sometime because he was not playing instantly. The madness.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, come on! Don't just show me that responsibility to me! Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Alright, what about the case? It happened around Friday evening, 2 days ago. Just there, on that opening bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade on behind. Is it right that the lady's not conscious now? You mentioned that she's been treated in the hospital. I mentioned she was a lady. This, unless it comes around smartish, we'll be able to find out much about her. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take the statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area have to have me. You can take it if you want. Really? Are you sure? Like, that's kind of you, but... Huh. It's our policy to give lawyers and convicted suspects the old bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted my job yet, but still. I mean, I'll take it.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Ooh! Alright, can I... Court record? Give me a second. Oh, okay, so this is where it
So
happened.
the incident happened
In the
right there.
Yeah. Kalapalo Road, Mi6 Street. Oh wait, that's wrong.
Misikam, actually. Is that what I read?
Anyway,
Yeah.
as far as we know, there was no one else at the scene other than the victim and your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, isn't it? Unless there was Batman around, I don't know. Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but
But just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. Sorry.
I'm sorry not to tell you. We certainly can't be sure. Wait, what?
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. Wait, there were witnesses? What? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less.
Ah,
It was definitely foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? Okay. I need to know. Oh, oops. Okay. Who are these witnesses, Spectre? I follow what is wife, and the man was the most reliable and respectable citizens in all of London. But what? It's a copper from Scotland Yard. Oh shit! A policeman? That might change things. Oh, no.
and this policeman just happened to be at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part of the parcel of being a Bobby. Got the bag and all that. And also, they like to throw down the face down every now and then. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask the policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow? Oh, come on. Oh. Well, shit. I don't doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that, then. He's got an intention to let us meet that man beforehand, it seems.
A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Oh, really now? Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me that too. The assassin's man. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. I thought it was Mr. Sherlock Holmes. What are you bringing him up for? Oh.
Ooh.
Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks. Okay. You okay, man? Who do you hear that frame from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Rastuman who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Schultz was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was a result of one of Mr. Sholm's inspirational great deductions.
Bullshit!
Ugh!
The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him shoving smoke everywhere. Oh! I don't know where you get this information from. We started up at the scene of crime. One is around spotting compressible rubbish, and before you know it, he can sort of solve the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he?
He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble! Ever seen this before? Oh yeah, that's a novel, right? Oh, yes.
It's a book.
That's the Ranston magazine.
A wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, seems to fit include several Yard's detectives in his stories. And the so-called regret detective is the mockery of all of us. If just anyone in the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We will come socks off. One of us. All is to be proved by a public thanks of that obnoxious detective. He even uses longsword. The man endangers us as a Scotland Yard keys to all our criminals. Also, for some reason, I froze. I have no idea what I'm doing now.
That can't be really true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, alright, what about tomorrow's trial? That rich Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me. But I would say this. No London lighter about his son touched that case with a barge pole. Actually, what the fuck is a barge pole? I just said that without knowing. My apologies.
Do you want to look it up?
Yeah, I want to look it up. I was kind of curious myself. Alright, barge pole, show me thy secrets.
I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm just not gonna say it. I want you to look it up.
Barge pole, the mission. Oh! That rowing boat thing?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Neat. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? Is he gonna bring his tool disc? There's no one send that man now. Even brought his tool disc. It's a waste of time to him trying. It is a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper isn't appearing in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only person who usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones. Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right. He handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Azuma wouldn't have had for what he's accused of, surely. That is just my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't say there ain't was there. So this is the sort of case I expected the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he ain't taking interest. Really?
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? I mean, look how he's... Have you seen his outfit? He likes to dress like a Zero Kaira knockoff. You have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, he put it. Like, he even doesn't give me a Dracula vibe. Oh wait, he actually does. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information out of the detective. Alright, so that means only investigation.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Okay. Oh, yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
Getsunai? By him, do you mean Mr. Holmes?
Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, exactly.
Oh, fuck my life. Look at those shining eyes. You can wait, can't you? Well, Mr. Natsuma did blame Mr. Holmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you going to ignore that? I hope not.
I was hoping I could, but...
I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again.
Bullshit! Bullshit! The trouble is, We have no idea how the man's. What?
Which Baker Street?
Oh, it's always there. How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 22B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing from stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find a way before Susato-san gets any more excited than predictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
Please do not summon in attack mode. So we have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I call bullshit! Alright, man. See you around. Let's get a move on.
You might want to see the animation for this.
When we go to...
Just trust me, and yeah, 22 Baker Street. Let's go.
Oh!
Look at that!
Oh, wait. Oh my god! It's... What the hell happened? Why is it so low quality?
Because Hunter, this game, after it was released, these are snippets of the upcoming anime that they are gonna create
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
with better quality.
ホームズ
Yeah.
さんの事務所なのですね。
That's
Look
nice.
at that lodging.
Is that a pinwheel?
Yes, it is.
Holy shit, this place is nasty. He has a fireplace and everything. And is that a food? What the hell?
It's a footrest, yes.
So, this is where the great detective Mars makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Oh my god, it's messy. It is to describe his stories, Mr. Sato? Susato-san? Are you dead?
Many famous cases have been solved in here. This very room.
Oh, I suppose there must have been, yes. Although I still call bullcrap. I never heard stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villains relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down and until London Street. Unlit London Street, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, the thrill of it. The romanticism. Can't you feel it in your heart thumping in your chest? I literally
no.
I can't do the enthusiasm for this. Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, I suppose I can. Yes, I don't know.
So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere a while longer.
Alright, so you're just gonna be a cardboard cutout for the rest of this travesty. Okay.
Please, don't mind me.
Can I at least use your Switch to play Monster Hunter? I'll take that.
後で会い、素敵な子やみんなを持っています。
Thank you, Zero. See you around. Ah, she's obsessed.
Hi, Zero.
Well, I'm just gonna investigate. Well, it looks like our detective friend is at home at the present. Excuse me! Is anybody home? Do you have a PC with Monster Hunter? Oh, do you have... Who the hell is this?
I think I have to.
Oh
I
shit,
think
yes,
I
you
have to do this one. Yeah, it's. Hello. Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello, little pipsqueak. Wait, aren't you?
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go make some tea at once.
sure it's the same girl. Mrs. Sato, do you see that girl who was just here? Oh wait, no, you're distracted.
Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary?
And I'm gonna assume you'll be completely useless throughout our stay here. Okay, I didn't ask anything.
To think that the King of Bohemian came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
King of Bohemia? You mean Freddie Mercury? What is Queen doing here? The King of Bohemian Rhapsody, what? Oh
The
God!
King William Guthrie Sigismund von Ostrasen, of course.
All right, Kim Wichimini Yamalabaka. Okay, I'm sorry.
I literally said it.
I'm drawing a blank here. Also, I didn't just deface a name. No, that was not me. Forget the adventures of Sherlock Holmes for a moment and look over there.
The tea is brewed. I have freshly baked cake as well.
Wait, that was fast. How the hell do you bake a cake like that?
Ah, it's you.
Anyway, Susato-san recognizes her too.
Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experiment smoke grenade launcher.
I don't know what the hell did she build a smoke grenade launcher for.
Oh, good day to you. I'm an inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
You mean gone? It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial with the defendant's antechamber.
I never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Who are you having to straight to work when you've only just arrived in London?
Oh, yes, it was challenging.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? I mean, it looks like queso fluid, and I don't want to imagine about that.
Oh my, what a fragrance, yet mellow flavor.
Are you sure this is not soda?
Hooray! It's a winner! I tried blending different leaves and designed the elevated fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and yet another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you are to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Who the fuck is Hurley? Her? Mr. Holmes, dude, sure.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat who brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley out on an errand again today, even though he just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. I met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial. Only briefly after that. I wonder that she knows so much about us. Is she a spy? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Actually, on the suite. Oh, silly me, I haven't formally introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
Watson? Nah.
Yeah, that's Watson's placement in this game. I live here together with Hurley.
Ah, Iris City. What a lovely name.
What?
What's the matter? You seem like you just awakened a Rajang and about to get pummeled in the face.
No, wait. This can't be. Do you mean to say your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with yourself, Sam? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden?
Yes, that's right. And what are your names?
Oh, I'm Rinosuke Naruto, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruto's judicial assistant, Susato Mikokoba. It's wonderful to meet you. I had to put in the stutter because she's flustered. Lovely, Susie and Runo. Got it.
What the fuck is Bruno? I mean,
Susie?
and Bruno? There is more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Alright, so I guess we start asking around. Okay, asking around. Okay, there we go. It was you that we ran out yesterday, was it? At the Old Bailey.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming.
Bro, this time, we did have a large gun pointed at us. Oh, it's expecting heat!
Like this? Like this?
Please, don't point your heavy bow gun at us, okay?
Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh yes, that our witness, Keenan Lestrade.
Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
Thief, you mean? So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
You're referring to the trial disrupting gun-like shock and rocket launcher in bullshit. You have a confession right now?
Exactly! So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruction mechanism in my inventions.
Please don't. I can imagine the lawyer restraining orders filled with that. This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that. And so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Who? Sorry, your technician?
Hurley, of course, silly.
Wait, he's a technician? I thought he was a detective.
Hurley? Yes, Herla. Herlock Sholmes. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective has such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not likely.
What?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out the belongings of any kind in London are very expensive.
Yeah, we said as much.
So the solution is to share a cost with a partner, a roommate.
You're roommates?
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10, at least this year.
Dear God. Well, what of your mother and father?
Oh no, they're not around.
Oh. Oh, I see. Wonder what's the story here. I wonder what story is there. Alright, this. Ah!
Oh yes! There's something I must ask you. Of course. Go ahead, Susie. I am a very great fan of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes and... Oh! You have a copy of Red Step magazine. Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
Fuck? My stories?
That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
They are really quite fascinating.
So, we have a case of broken telephone here.
It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think?
Only if they were truthful. You think about it.
Goodness. Last night, he was telling me about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So, I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So, you are the author. Yes, I let you in on a secret. I'm going to call the latest adventure The Speckled Band.
Oh, well, that makes sense. The speckled band? That certainly is very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in my stories here and there.
Isn't that not right? The context of the situation here.
This time, I have the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, well, that checks out. Oh, that was Mr. Holmes' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course, I know that the snake might not be credible to fit the facts of the case exactly, but
So basically, you're lying.
it's a story. Some poetic licenses justified make it more thrilling, I think, don't you?
But it's based on the real. Oh, you know what? I give up already.
So, do you mean to say are the stories of Mr. Sholmes are published in the Ransom magazine? All written by me, yes, on a wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I have ever read are written by the Doctor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. The actual
Oh, there
name.
it comes. Citizen's getting more and more worked up.
Ah, yes, that's me.
Ah, yes, that's an alias, right?
I mean, the name really is Wilson. But the Doctor of Medicine part? I have to keep switching. That's all true too. I am a doctor of
Wait,
medicine.
what the fuck? No, 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
I call bullcrap! Well, that is quite incredible and impossible. Actually, no. No. Wait, what?
But Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman.
She doesn't realize she's being duped, right?
Yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow.
Yeah, that will be very sus.
I suppose it does. Yes.
Poor Susato-san, she looks like her whole work has just fallen apart and shattered. Like someone that didn't get her copy of Monster Hunter in time. Oh shit, wrong button. Wrong button.
I'm gonna have to keep switching. It's gonna be tricky, so apologies.
Alright. About before.
Yes? What's on your mind, Runa? Do tell me.
How do you know? That was a lawyer as well as arrived from London, I mean.
Yes. Oh, and we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all about that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted, although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin.
Wait, speaking what?
Iris Wilson is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Oh, what the hell? Not this again!
First of all, I already knew you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defense antechamber.
But you said you were only just arrived in London. How do you know that?
I observed the passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
So I was reasonably confident that you must only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted the case against a particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
Okay. The Bailey? I won't mind to that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed a red stamp on the back of Susie's hand.
Wait, what the fuck? That was there?
You were given that when you visited the prison when you meet the suspect, weren't you, earlier today? Ah! They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see.
Was that actually true?
I didn't realize. And the red stamp only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you only arrived yesterday and concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, you two have already came to visit a foreign inmate in the local prison. However, neither of you were wearing a particular sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or relative. So that led me to believe that you have accepted a new case.
I see.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It was obviously a news to him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was
Oh
falling
my
into
god. Ah, this man. A Japanese man. Well, it's clear that was me.
Mr. Natsume! Sorry, I had to get that. It's hurt.
Yep. It's
Now,
okay, fine.
Runo has that fancy Japanese sword, katana. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that both of you came from Japan yourself. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending a Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
Why do you think she's the best detective in the both of them? Yeah, I think she's the better
There's-
one. She's definitely the better one of the two of them.
There's note to the mantelpiece that says man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing notes with a knife, you know. He is silly.
More like a maniac. Who uses knives like that?
And that's all was it. That's all there was to it, really.
Do you need a rest?
No, I'm good. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
Why are you
Yeah,
out
that's
there actually doing the detective job and leave the other guy writing?
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You didn't manage to discern something of Mr. Holmes' delivery.
Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. That really is very good news. You could tell us about the case involving the Japanese man, will you? Won't you, Iris? Please?
Oh. Okay. So yesterday, Mr. Holmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah. The great detective is a polar man, it seems.
Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses and seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene.
The speed of sound, the places to go on. Ah, wait, no.
A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. Mr. Natsume is beyond any doubt.
Tsuki-san said that he didn't see anyone else in the street at all. But it seems they were witnesses after all.
Hurley used great deductive powers to determine the man's address.
How many times he took that for him?
It was a lodging room nearby. He went directly there with the policeman. And what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man, shivering in fear.
Ah, Mr. Holmes' great deduction surely hit the mark this time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Ma'am, do I have to correct you that in many times? Like for real? Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for a trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says the London Rifles is rife with crime. Sorry, I don't know what to say.
It's okay. Oh,
Scotland Yard is doing their best, but they can't stay up on top of it apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investing cases and trying the criminals at court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
well, that's kind of responsible if you think about it.
That's terrible. I suppose it's harsh reality of working with the world's greatest justice system.
If the world's greatest justice system has this kind of flaws, then no, I call faults to that. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Suzuki-san. Ouch! What a way to be optimistic, man! Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I had so much fun.
Do you happen to know exactly where Mr. Holmes is at the moment? As you guess, we would like to ask you some questions about this case as well.
Well, I accept Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Wait, so we have to go back there? Oh, the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Nuts. Oh, Minnie.
Mr. Nuts.
Oh, May. Hurley said he should be in the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective named Gregson when you were there?
Oh, Mr. Fish and Chips Infinite Man. Oh, sure. Yes, we know his brother Gregson. For some reason, his cap doesn't seem to run out of chips.
Ah, goody! In that case, give Greg C this for me, would you?
Presentation card?
Especially.
Hey, my Liza
If
me, how you
you-
doing?
If you do that, I'm sure he will tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5 shilling and a postcard, it seems.
What the hell is a shilling piece actually?
A shilling piece is what they used to call the currency before pound, actually.
Ah, basically money. Oh
So
wait,
it's just
are we bribing the guy?
シリングはコインです。
I think it's a tip because you actually pay if you have to send a postcard. So
Ah, huh. Neat.
it reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that that won't be a problem."
スターリングもあります。
There were also sterlings. Sterlings, shillings. Oh yeah, that sounds like European currency.
Mhm. Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
イギリスのルマを
Oh, British. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, my brain.
I'm gonna have to do two voices. Give me a second. Good luck then. I am going to return to my writing, my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I will be making more special blends of tea. So come back again soon.
Are you sure you didn't put poison in those tea? Because mixed in a lot of different stuff is healthy, to be precise.
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruto, it's back to the scene of the crime.
Oh goody. Yeah, I guess we have to ask that guy. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the man of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene of crime with Iris' curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. As I said, this is more like a bribe than a tip. Oh, that was part one? Oh.
Since that's the case, I will just change my PNG a bit to look less I'm comfy and I'm enjoying all of this to something more serious. So give me a few seconds.
Yeah, that's right. I need to stretch a bit too.
Also, hi chat.
Yeah, hi
How
live.
do I have to introduce myself? Do I have to introduce myself? Oh, yeah. Does your chat know me well enough already?
No, I think my life is just met you. So basically,
Okay, so I guess
should I introduce you
Go
or
ahead.
should I introduce yourself?
yeah, because I'm doing the login right now. So can you do it for me, please?
All right, yeah. So here's my friend Mew. She's a VTuber? No, she's not a VTuber yet. Yet? I don't know. Maybe she will.
No.
No? Nah, okay.
PNG. I'm currently PNG, and for the VTuber part or PNG part at least, I am still considering it. Considering I am still in like classes, not yet though, like college basically, not.
The monkey magic face.
So it's still on debate. That's what you want to call it. That's what you want to call it.
What
正確
exactly?
に VTuber を作るもの
But that's actually a good question. I guess it's just like Takahara 101 said. It's just streaming with extra steps. That's it.
And the difference is really that you use something else to represent you than your actual face, but it's still your personality. It's for those, well, in my personal opinion, who's too shy to show what they look like.
In my case, I
At
just
least for
find
my
this
case.
fun. I just really find this fun.
Yeah. It's just taking a really long time to load for the Discord reactive images, but it's starting to work now, thank God. So give me a few seconds.
That's okay. It's okay.
My internet lately is so bad.
Really?
不健
I
康
am
な非
living
正
on
社
one
会
bar
関
right now
係
talking
の
to you,
原因
Hanta.
とな
What do
る
you
よう
mean?
に聞こえます
Sounds like what causes unhealthy parasocial relationships. Yeah, because people take it a bit too far, actually.
Yeah, they kind of do. But for some people, it's just they find it fun, or in other cases, just
An escape?
like I said, don't want to show their face and kind of shy, even if they want to show things they like. So in my case, I'm just really shy. and I still want to show my voice. I just don't want to show my face, and I changed it already. Hanta.
Oh shit! Holy shit! You
It
became
should be
small.
seen.
It's way too small.
But yeah, this should be more appropriate. So this is what I put my PNG as in this is what I want people to see. At least if I do start streaming. But that's an uncertain case.
All right. Okay. Let's get up. Move on.
私は
And
3D
now
ア
I
バ
will
タ
have
ー
to
のために
voice
70
two
ドルのよう
people
に
for
支
this
払いま
case.
した
Oh joy.
You pay like $70 for a 3D avatar. In my case, I paid $0 for my 2D avatar because he just ruined all my sheer blood and tears and stuff.
He also made this very cursed emote that is still in his chat. That
Like,
is still
I
not
know, it's crappy, but I love it.
I'm not saying it's crappy. I'm saying it's cursed because of the red eyes that you put.
But my eyes are red.
Yeah, but
あ
the
な
one
たが
that's in your
私
emote
が
looks like
何
it's
を
about
意
to
味
kill
するの
someone.
か知っていればジグル物理学を持っています
It has jiggle fixes, you know what I mean? Dude, you're a god. Oh, wait, no, that makes complete sense.
Oh!
Oh my god, that policeman is still down there. It looks as though the police is still here, carrying on with the investigation.
Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at the silver tip Iris gave us from him. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
All right.
perfect.
He just spontaneously appeared.
Oh, no. So I think you have to present. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna
that's
say, I
it.
think you have to give it.
Ooh. Oh,
Oh, there's the note. It's
And
in
the-
script.
yup. Alright, present. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say, I'm a very busy man. Also, look at my chips.
5シリングはほとんど賄賂です
5 shillings is a hardly bribe? Well, yeah, you're kinda right. Much.
Yes, but considering this is Iris, a inventor, and no less partner of the detective, we wouldn't know.
Hmm.
Putting that in perspective.
Much to miss Dr. Burfer and Grandpa, that's for sure.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? For her ladyship? Is it most about the right suffering? Her ladyship? Give it up at once! Come on! I don't know! That's for me! Ah! Wait! Don't push it, don't pull me, don't pull my hair. Hey, well, don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's 7 crowns, you see. But it's not more than that. It's, well... It's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
あなたはモノモードワラに行き
An
ま
You
す
appearance fee. Oh, I see. You mean
You went monkey mode? If you sign up on my streams, you know that is normal.
yeah? He literally has a redeem called Monkey Magic.
That's right. For
That's
the
right.
For the adventures of
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes. Ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Oh, so this is like paying a fee for like authorial rights for him to appear. Right, that actually makes sense.
Well, I mean, he does get already whispers from the people, so I guess that's kind of a upside. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Of course, there's my name without my say, so does make me a bottle of local unpleasant jokes, but still. No. For this. I'm sorry, Inspector, that makes it very difficult for you. Never mind. So, what do you want to know, Andy? Eh? Also, look at my chips. Look at them. Admire the saltiness of this thing. Sorry? Bottomless
底
fries.
なしのフライ
Yeah, that's right. Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust it'll be a problem, he says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, far away. What do you want to know? Do you want to know where Monster Hunter Stormbreak releases? I do not know that.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsumi's lodgings.
Ah, the little light-winded mustache Japanese fellow. It is right up the hall. It's just over there. Look. There? The first floor of that house on the corner with that wreck of a bicycle propped up. Jesus Christ, look at that thing. It's completely useless.
That's nearby indeed.
I remember right? It's Lawrence, Mr. John Gardy. Is that Mr. John Gardy? Right. Well, if you see her again, you make sure to give her Lacey my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her. That rest of say your very best wishes. Also, look at my ship hat. Don't worry, Inspector. We'll. Goodbye for now. Long live her nation. Wait. Holy shit. Okay, you just sending her regards like that? Alright, fine.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yeah. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsumi's lodgings?
Definitely.
Alright, first, before we go, I really need to know about this.
Oh, a British bicycle. Look. Although the wheel is misshaped, I'm sure it couldn't have possibly ridden anymore.
Some of us have been doing some breakneck cycling. Like, look at that thing, it's completely useless now.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently.
Yeah, they're nature efficient, free, it makes you exercise, who wouldn't want to use it?
There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride them as well.
Oh. The bicycle ban won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Ah, Rinosuke, you have no idea.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them. It's just that any competition that involves taking both your feet off green ground seems reckless. You ever try walking on stilts and fall into a river? You know you're not going to meet me. Oh, okay, past trauma, got it.
Well, would you have hired a bicycle sometime? You can sit behind me while I ride around.
Okay, that was fine. Curious. All right, can I move?
No, it just means he can't ride a bike. That's what he's saying.
Ah, Jesus Christ! Thank you for that, my lives and me. All right, let's go inside.
Let me guess, he played the monkey magic.
Yeah, he played the monkey magic. Is that a fucking cannon?
Oh, that is a cannon, good sir.
And why is that the mate's outfit on the cannon? Why is there a what the hell is this? Is that cannon ammo in that? What the hell is going on in this place?
ハードコアジング
You'll know in due
Hardcore
time.
Jingo? Jesus
know
fucking
in time.
Christ!
May I help you?
Why are you so stout? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrett? Also, why are you so fat? I mean, sorry about that.
戦争を支持する人ジンゴ
A person who advocates for... Oh. I mean, look at her. How the hell is she so stout? I have no idea what you've been eating, lady. But that is bad for your diabetes. Mark my words very well.
ゲームの終わりにおばあちゃんは
Sorry
言い
about
ま
that.
した
I was intruded,
ジェイク
but
ジェイク
indeed it would,
IDK この
sir.
ゲー
And
ム
who I may
Ya
say is
mero.
calling?
Also, hi Brown, how you doing? My name is Rinosuke Naruto.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Natsume, I believe. He takes lodgings here?
Holy shit, he just reacted.
We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
Okay, you're going bad, really weird, did he?
One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadeb.
I am sorry. I am trying to do 3 different voices because there's many females in this one.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You said Mrs.
Go
Sato?
ahead.
That was a real life English maid. I didn't know English maid were so fat. Sorry about that.
Hanada underscore T
I
et
know.
al.
I
CNR.
understand it. Anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff.
You mean they employ sumo wrestlers? I mean, never mind.
But that's the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. On this day keeps getting better.
It certainly feels like we are really arrived now, doesn't it?
夕飯太の隣のアニメの女性は
We
誰
only
です
need to
か
meet the butler and the experience will be complete.
Oh, she's my friend Mew. Say hi, Mew. There's some people in chat that don't know you.
Oh, hello! I'm you. I'm a friend of Hanta's. I actually offered to voice act the females for this one, so you didn't have to voice every single person. But I didn't realize that there would be more than 3 females, so I'm trying to really exercise my voice for this.
Yeah, don't strain yourself too much, okay?
I won't. I have my water on my side just in case. But
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment.
thank you for waiting. Mr. Gardev will see you now. This way, please.
Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Holy shit, I have a bad feeling about this. Okay. I'll get you here. You'll get it for your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I am Ryunosuke Naruhodo's. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Sorry, I had it like glitched on your screen for like
It's
2
okay.
seconds. I could
It's
not
okay.
read the text.
Excuse me not getting me up. Took a shot of the need a few years back in the Battle of Mount Why do you know? I had the battle for my pains, but I had to withdraw for service. Had another remains and open comments. Also, do not ask me about my hemorrhoids. So he's a retired soldier. It's
Hence
kind
the cannon.
yeah, it's a kind of a job getting up and downstairs now. I can tell you, don't get out much as you can imagine. I cannot even use a heavy bone in Monster Hunter at all. You have no idea how bad that feels. Yes, it's quite a climb up here on the 2nd floor, is it? I was panting atop the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm trying, okay? Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Gardev, no doubt you were courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it's nothing. The matter is not told, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I just grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why didn't you fetch it down, John? Let these good people see it properly. Also, please fetch me my buttocks.
I think it's Joanne, but okay.
John, fetch that! Oh, my face! I mean, oh, my balls! Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Dash it, woman! Be careful! Also, do you... I'm trying to kill me? What the hell is wrong with you, woman?
Excuse me.
な
That
ぜ
got
あ
me
な
off
た
guard.
はイギリス、イ
Oh
タ
dear
リア
me,
語
I
にイ
do
ギ
beg
リ
your
スから
pardon,
行く
sir.
のですか？
Why are you going from British to Irish to Italian? I have no idea. You jolly near to the skin of my hands. Hi, Cammy, how you doing?
I shall be more careful, sir.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
I'm good, how are
私は
you?
元気ですよ。あな
I'm
た
fine.
は
So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to talk about the chap looking downstairs. It's that right.
Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only to please, naturally, especially if he has to keep the peace here politely. Oh god, that is unhealthy, sir. Stop. Don't you have a spoon or something? What the hell is wrong with you? Do not move your tea like that. Are you insane? Are you criminal? What is wrong with you? We're marginalized with the parents and I'm sure you're aware.
彼はかなりハードコアです。
He's pretty hardcore. More like unhealthy.
You're gonna have
energetic.
to. You're going to have to finish this.
So this guy is very much the public eye, is it well? Oh, is it? Even has some famous detective poking around, you know, in his whole house, you know, but it.
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't watch Chap's name. Not really my cup of tea. All the detective business.
Oh, but you have a copy of Friendship magazine here, so anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak.
So he's in Suseki-san's room. It's a baldy nonsense what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching in the curtains now. I do not like all this fuss. It's jolly and settling. Oh god, man, you're gonna be jolly fond of ball. Wait,
About
no.
Mr. Natsume, then Mr. Garden, please do tell us.
Ah, yes, the Japanese chap only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moving very recently then. I have two lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. 6 feet under, if you know what I mean. But that's besides the point. The first floor's room became available a week ago. Oh my balls! Oh, dashing Joe, don't be careful. Jesus, woman, do you want to kill me? Do you want to have the bathroom? Oh, sorry, I just think I became a little monkey back there. Please apologize for my lack of sense.
Oh, my goodness, I am terribly sorry. If you want to know my opinion,
Please do.
I thought he was a shady sort. For a moment, I set eyes on him. Oh, why? Sorry. He seemed to have the most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder.
Nah, he was trying his best to do his best JoJo impression.
The man had a shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joanne, the man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything.
Won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Oh yes. Oh yes indeed, there was.
And she's dying to tell us. Oh, goody. Oh, dear God. Have you noticed anything else about your lodger, Mr. Natsume?
Oh, my word, yes. The man is shadier than an orchid. Orchid, I don't know how you say that.
It's okay.
Could you elaborate? Well, the man's room absolutely stuffed full of books, it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he had never so much
Matawa
passes the time of day with a
CH
living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call.
Or shared? What do you mean by that, my Lamashani?
He just trots off to that old bookshop every day and comes back at 5 to the light of the gas fire. And the funny little man is up past time. Everyone else in the house
果
has
樹
gone to
園の
bed
発音
too.
の仕方です。
Oh, is that how you pronounce orchard? Orchard. Orchard.
Orchard.
Okay.
That's the word.
Oh, I see. Also, man, please stop moving your teeth like that. It's very unsettling.
You're gonna have to voice him.
I know.
The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow retired any earlier than 2 in the morning.
Huh. Ah.
Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
Actually, that's a very good question.
Oh! I understood if neither of the lodgers live on this floor in the house. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor of the street level. And also someone 6 feet under, but please forget I said that.
Then how is that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that you come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed.
Oh, my balls! Good grief, you're a people careful woman. Do you want to actually murder me? Oh, it's because I use longsword, is it? It's because I use longsword, is it? Well, guess what? I don't care you use light bowgun. See? There's that. Oh, so shame on you, woman.
Oh my goodness, sir. I am terribly sorry, sir.
Something doesn't add up here. This is very funny. It seems that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Do you happen to look out the window around that time? The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. And that the incident took place on the pavement, just only on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time with the goddamn's house full. So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, John?
No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all? Anything that seemed unrelated?
Well. Yes? Was there something then? Well, it's not particularly significant, but around that sort of time in here, there. For the love of God, John, what were you doing, you devil-sized woman that wants to kill me and my nether regions? It's because I put your brother 6 feet under, isn't it? Speak up, woman!
Oh dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Do be more careful, woman. My balls are on the line.
Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow.
What the fuck? Did you just call me? Oh, yes.
I have an exceedingly good memory as far as I can remember. Nothing of significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Oh, really? Mr. Gardep? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a little matter really. Nothing now. My balls, man! Yo, that's it all. What is the matter with you, woman? Do you have to actually spank your butt? For real? Oh god, I just went monkey. I just lost all my compilation because of my balls, woman.
Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
I call a bull crap to that. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down a quiet and eventful meal. Right, Joe?
That's right, Mr. Gerdeb.
What is the matter with these two? Also, why isn't that person's balls yours dead right now?
It sounds like something happened in this room on that evening of that incident. But what?
I wish I knew. Actually, scratch that. I wish I knew less. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? What? Just below us on the first floor. Totally not 6 feet under.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak?
Yes, told me that his stay had he asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume was engaged to Mr. Sholmes' services?
That's a blatant lie. We are right to just have a look around in Mr. Suma's room, I mean. Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Yes, please ignore the room with skeletons, please. It's nothing suspicious whatsoever. Who knows if you find anything that could help us with the case? We'll have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on.
Clues.
Shall we?
Yes, and while we're there, we can speak to Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Oh, I actually read that. Alright, it's moving time.
Yeah, off to the room. Off to the room.
Off to the room. There we go. Move. There we go. Gimme.
Oh, you didn't click it.
There we go.
I bet you the
Is
first
that
thing
a
you
cat?
see is I was gonna call it. I was calling it.
Is there's a double cat. Mr. Natsume's room. Also, man, he doesn't even have a window.
I mean, his window is boarded up.
Well, just look at this place. This place is messed up. And smell it. It's so musty in here. And also smell that. I think there's some sort of cat piss here. Oh my god, I wouldn't want to smell this. I suppose the mountains and old books that are responsible for that. And are those hairballs on the ground? Scratch that. I actually shouldn't be here right now.
No, those look like tissues, like paper, actually. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in my life.
No, me neither.
It's so dark in
Be
here,
here
too.
too. Oh, that was mine. That was mine.
Oh, that was your line. Alright, sorry. Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time. For some reason, it's being closed up with bricks and mortar. So, this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes yet anywhere, have you?
No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrett told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. I'm going to have a bad feeling about this. Um,
I say look around first.
oh, wait. Let's first check the cat. Oh, that's cute.
I can actually imitate the cat sound.
Meow, meow, magic. Meow, meow, magic.
Oh my, what adorable little cat! Perhaps he's looking after all the books with his master is away.
I don't know about that. He's appeared to the pile of books of Christmas and Flash. It was a three-color Mikey, was it? Do you have that sort of car here in Great Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought a little creature with him from Japan.
That made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
That's a lot of paper. Hmm.
It's a lucky cat.
Why do I dread pressing this button?
You might have to.
Oh shit! Look at those books stacked up
Oh.
here. There's almost reached the ceiling.
They are all the works of English literature. They all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'll never be short of reading material, would you?
No. What a dreamy idea.
No, that's a terrible idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I'd imagine the book that's on the bottom of the pile now we never read again.
So recording, it is an experience and comes to
But once in a lifetime, just as a tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect that conversation to turn down the path to ceremony philosophy. Alright. Oh!
you're gonna have to
It,
press the
this
next button.
yeah, but I have a bad feeling about this one.
Oh, no.
Huh. Nothing.
Oh, wait. Oh no. You might have to.
Wait, what is this thing? No, wait. There should be something I had to investigate here. No, that's
The
that.
little lamp candle right there. No, doesn't seem.
No, that checks out. What's suspicious here?
Maybe check the lucky cat.
Maybe.
something.
Where's the diary?
Hmm.
The desk seems to be wedged in a crevice between the mountains of book on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded from all sides by these towering old tomes. Sure, he'd read books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this?
Oh, we found something. It's a receipt from a secondhand books shop. Your books.
Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name's on it. Look, and the date of the purchase. 2 days ago, 4:45. That's the deal, isn't it?
That's the day of. Yeah, it's gonna say. That's just a short while before they embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some books.
Ooh, nice. This is actually useful now. Alright, I got that. Alright, lucky cat.
Oh, look! It's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that mannequin Neko all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in the position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous drama doll that you brought with your luggage?
Wait, what? I brought that? Well, it can't be dangerous traveling abroad. I want the lucky charm. Oh, there's a thing in the room. Okay.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat sure beckoning good luck. on him.
He's not doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't say a word. Well, you did actually. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Well, you actually opened your eyes really, really badly, man. So yeah, everyone saws you. Check that out. Check that out. Check that out. Okay, so the papers only. Look at these balls of paper on the floor. There are no scrawled all over them in English. It looks like a waste paper bag is so full they just fallen out.
I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you?
Or deeply burst to tidy up his mess. I go with the second option.
I wouldn't speculate which is closer to the truth.
Alright, I check that out. I check this out. I check that out.
Maybe
check
the
that-
bag? Because it could have something.
No, the bag doesn't have anything. Alright, let's move over here. Oh shit. Okay, no. Wrong button, wrong button. Too much text sometimes. Oh, the fuck!
There he is.
How do you... did you just teleport?
Mountain of books. Aha! Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's official, he's a freaking ninja. Aha! There he is! Where did he appear from? I have no idea, man.
He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh god, what asset do I give you? Ah, you two, good day. Now, let me see. Where was that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya?
Yes, of course, the Burya. Let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Masogi. He died, tragically. Was he a great help to us? Ah, yes, but of course. I guess Mr. Masogi. It was the one with the snake, was it?
Oh,
Well, you seem to remember something of it at least.
what an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes.
That doesn't seem like a compliment, actually.
I know. This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I promise under the superior powers of recollection, your names are saved recorded in my brain attic. Naruhodo!
Yes.
And Mr. Susato. Come on, man. Don't make yourself a much embarrassment than you are right now. Try the other way around, Mr. Holmes. I lose the first round. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both in my Baker Street suit the day you arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders had pushed me to the railway station and whisked me away to the crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course, so it mattered no more than 30 minutes. So the apprehended Sheriff Sikisan in that short of an amount of time? I think the pursuance of the new case has still my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It's a mistake to think that one's brain's attic's elastic walls can extend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless tasks, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes! Those are my own words of infallible wisdom, you know? From adventure titled A Study in Scarlet. Wait, that's one of the stories! Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my personal wisdom, but fortunately my assistant fends them beautifully. Give me sirens, I suppose.
Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about Trevor case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should do only too pleased. This murky room is an apt place to discuss a murky case. Oh, so you're gonna get this information? Alright, fine. Whoops, wrong button. We know to visit the lodges of a Japanese foreign student named Soseki Natsume. It seems that you were assisted in his arrest, Mr. Holmes, for stabbing of the young woman outside her on the Barrio Road. Natsume. Yes, Elisa was the name rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have no the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
I can't believe he was looking at us squarely in the eye when feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. Or did he just read my mind? It would appear that the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you, I have no recollection accusing your stupid competitor of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to certain identity or whereabouts of the man seen fleeing the crime scene. A man seen fleeing? There were a number of books scattered on the pavement of the scene. From the book plates, I was clearly able to determine that bookshop with which they had been purchased. Or, speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementarily, will you say? I believe there was a receiver around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So, don't you think Mr. Natsume is a culprit then? That I couldn't tell you. But it's aggravated my faculties. Here's why I returned here. However, this place is such a drop of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not make me seem to believe that I am a man of leisure. No.
Oh dear.
I'm actually starting to feel a little sleepy, Mew.
Well, we can at least finish this part.
Yeah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodges? Yes, Mr. Garrett. That's the guy with the hot stone balls. A retired military man.
It was the first time I ever met a soldier from a great British What is the word?
Institution.
Is it institution? From that is the services.
It was the first time I ever met a mate from a great British institution that is service. Didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so conversely, whether or not the household employs a maid has come to token of social standing of those dwelling in the reign. Token their social standing? Sorry? Pretty simple, my dear fellow. Those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper society, of course, households employs enough staff to constitute a large family. That sounds like a mafia.
Goodness, how extraordinary.
As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of first importance. I had no idea. And it's precisely that reason I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs, especially in the retired armed veteran. Mr. John Garrideb. Oh? Above all as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it was the circumstances of this case, I am unable to discern. I'm truly lost on what he managed to say. Oh shit, I was
You're
zoning
gonna have to
out.
talk about the room.
Yeah, I was zoning out.
It's fine.
This room is truly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose thoughts dwell in a place such as this would stop someone sooner or later. Hey, come on, have a vote of confidence.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said,
I don't believe that is the issue here.
about this dark little room, Mr. Holmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea?
Here we go.
No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there's a window of sorts. But it's being completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. What? Window?
Yeah, you didn't know.
No. Window tax? What is that?
Surely not a tax on a Windows.
I think that is precisely what you mean. Precisely that. Yep, I was correct.
Oh my goodness.
I called it.
It,
Until relatively recently, the tax was levied on households in this country by the number of were windows. Those are the means, having inherited a sizable and costly family, hope perhaps rapidly closed windows up. While the rich open the windows here and there, and everywhere. An effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money.
how awful, how unjust, forcing me to live in rooms devoid of light.
Well, that sounds like any Japanese hotel, actually. The cheap ones, of course. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago on whereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you see, in the squalid lodges such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Asumi's treatment for living here in London is very generous, perhaps. It appears so. I've done a little digging. And discovered these lodges were offered an extraordinary amount of... Oh, wait. I discovered these lodges were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Well, yeah, if you're missing a window, then sure, it's not gonna cost that much.
Because the room is awful, I should think.
Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved here about 1 week ago. Yes, that is correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby looking I don't believe that low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, there is a little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. And off it goes. Well, I would have told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruto. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? You perhaps be offering your service in this very matter, I wonder. To the company's world, Mr. Natsume, was it? I guess he's really good at reading intentions, but not at connecting everything else. I'm not sure. Not sure. On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court there only yesterday. Somebody. Well then, I congratulate you on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to be leaving my clients to trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Holmes? Mr. Asume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. What? Oh, but I thought that was why you were here. Did you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there seem too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore it. Oh, so you were slacking on your job. Okay, sure. Let's go with that. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man you've seen him crying 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. Oh, and there are witnesses to swear to have seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. But that's what we know already! Ah, and one more thing. Oh,
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is or whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns the property is hiding something. Mr. Gary did this. Mr. Hope said as much before Ashley, didn't he? Anyway, at present, this is really all that plays on my mind in relation to the case.
Mr. Naruhodo? As yet, our investigation has uncovered nothing that could help us establish Mr. Natsumi's innocence.
No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probe a little deeper into Mr. Garidev's secret. Just remember, I gotta be sure whether Landor's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book into a corner of his room of the room. Alright, well, I guess we can call it here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually feeling really tired. It was fun.
don't forget to save.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Alright, guys, chat, that was all for today. I am feeling kinda groggy right now, so let's find someone to raid. Someone fun, someone I maybe admire. Let's check it out. Who's outside? Who's outside? Who's streaming right now?
I do have my friend, but they're playing Inscription right now, so I don't know if the
Also-
chat wants to see that.
Also, everyone's playing Lost Ark. Oh, wait, Sen's playing Master Duels. Alright, right.
Okay, that's great. Also, chat. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be back to do this voice acting thing, but this was really fun, Hanta.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I think I went too,
I
went too in with the judge.
you went Italian with the army man who is clearly British.
I have no idea what I do that, but that's a good flexing, I think. Alright.
Or
Alright, I'm gonna send you guys to Sen no Kiseki. He's playing Master Duels right now, and I'm playing a lot of Master Duels lately. So
please do say hi.
yeah,
They
do
are
say hi.
amazing.
Alright. See you guys around and have a nice night. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming by. Thank you, my lives and me, for being here. I like that. So, see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.